behind this.
Okay, in between, I would like to give you certain advice. So, what are the various advice? Suppose you are getting twice, thrice, or 4 times to speak in the group discussion. So, you must be very specific that in this term I'm going to speak this. Suppose that in first notion you are going to describe what you mean by terrorism, clear? Such as armed rebellion, something else, something else. Next one is what is introduction. Next one is the identity of terrorism globally. As we know that many of the countries are using terrorism as their national policies. So you'll have to explain it. Suppose you are getting the opportunity to speak third time, then you can say that there are certain organizations which are actually responsible to counter such type of terrorism, but actually they are not quoted because terrorism word is actually not accepted globally, because actually it is different perception of different countries, and so that it has not been identified at the stage of United Nations Security Council. So there are different level of challenges along with the topic, and so that you are expected to reveal different topic and different type of statements. Sometimes it happens that you are going to take once, twice, thrice, or more than that. So why you people are wasting your time? Why you people are wasting your content on only a single point? Because everyone knows, even the SSs are getting the point that you want to speak this. Okay, terrorism this. But actually what are the consequences? The topic that you shouldn't forget it, that what is the solution of international terrorism. And yet, you haven't spoken anything about solution. So half of the time is over and you didn't speak about the solution part. It means that actually you are in the trap of many of the students, actually they don't have the ideas regarding the caption. So why do so? So think about it. Now please start.
So my friend, we need to understand here organizations like recently we had 25th summit of SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and one of the primary objective of Shanghai Hamas as well. Similarly, we have seen multiple states, for example, Syria, for example, Lebanon, for example, Afghanistan. Now these countries suffer heavily from terrorism. Now we need to understand what is the reason behind terrorism. Because when the state machinery does not function, there is lack of administrative machinery over there, and therefore some sort of a movement rise over there.
There are the reasons like government collapse for creating a terrorist structure, for creating a terrorist group. But there are also some other aspect or objective for creating the terrorist group, like the easily to get the money, the religion extremism, or for creating or invading the one country's borderline.
My friend, here first of all we need to get to know that what is the international terrorism, rather than going for any of the specific countries or taking the name of any of the specific countries. So we must know that what is international terrorism and what are the effects of it on any other different countries. Just like here we see that many of the other countries which are provoking indirectly and getting harm to the human beings, and at that level we can see that are the act of terrorism. Now if we talk about international terrorism, then we can state that in which at an international, if there are certain activities are being involved. So here we can say it as an international terrorism.
As one of my friends has talked about the Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis. But friend, here there is a concern that many of the countries didn't declare these organizations as a terrorist organization. Like India even not declared the Houthis, Hamas and the Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Vice versa, Israel has also not declared the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Mujahideen as a terrorist organization. So to counter these organizations, the first motive, to my mind also, as I talk about the coming together for the all country, and the second point would be the armament. It can be the solution, because for the improvement in the armed forces, as well as the technology and
the Al-Qaeda, the Osama bin Laden attacked on the on the America World Trade Center. The America is the most powerful country in the world.
Before moving on to dealing with terrorism, before moving on to solution, we need to identify first of all terrorist group. Now, as said by chess number 14, a terrorist group for a particular country might be perpetrated by the other nations. For example, we have seen Hamas being perpetrated by Palestine. Similarly, we have seen Houthis perpetrated by some other particular nation. Similarly, we have seen multiple other terrorist groups which have been funded by USA itself. So similarly, when we see that terrorism knows no bounds of boundaries, neither it knows no boundaries of religion.
I truly appreciate the words stated by chapter number 3. And further, if we talk about the Charter 7 provided by the United Nations Security Council, even they also declared that the terrorists are not of any of the recognized governments. they are on the basis of their volunteer participation with their separate mindsets against the people. So here we need to act on the certain root cause, that what are the roots which are being causing the terrorism.
My friends, when we say United Nations, out of 5 of its permanent members, we have seen Russia, we have seen USA, we have seen China, who have been heavily funding terrorist activities into other nations. Similarly, they have invaded multiple nations. For example, the invasion of Iraq and Syria, invasion of Afghanistan. So these things somehow show us that these nations who are part of United Nations, they themselves don't follow the regulations. So we need to understand that we need to identify that there should be some particular lines which should be drawn for identification of terrorists. For example,
friend, here we can talk about the generalized action against terrorism. That can be the poverty, or that can be the loop in the administrations of the different governments. So here we just need to focus on those root cause rather than going for the direct action against the international terrorism. And further, at an international level, we have the certain organizations just like United Nations Security Council, and we can empower their policies, and we can talk about the empowerment of those certain policies so that each country come at an international level to work against them.
Against terrorists, then the other country
I'm telling you, what is the reason behind